Hi, I'm Ellie, and this is your weekly theatre news recap, the show where I take the past week's theatre news and I give it to you in a almost coherent format. Yes, this is the show where we recap the past week's West End and UK touring theatre news, so if you want to stay up to date with all of that, make sure you hit subscribe because I do these every single week without fail. I've never missed a single one, she says, lyingly. But let's dive in, as we always do, starting with our casting news. Now, this first story, oh boy, when it came out, I was like, well, guess I'm saying goodbye to everything in my bank account because we have the cast for Little Shop of Horrors at the Sheffield Crucible, not the Lyceum. The Lyceum's the one next door. They have multiple Sheffield theatres and they're all like together. And the one I've been to is the Lyceum. I've never been to the Crucible, but the Crucible is the one that does like new work. And I got them mixed up. I'm sorry. But yes, Little Shop of Horrors will be opening at the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield from the 7th of December to the 18th of January. Now, this cast, first off, Sam Buttery is playing the plant. Sam Buttery is Audrey too. First off, amazing casting. Trans talent as well. Iconic. I really hope we're seeing like less of like a puppet situation and more of like we're leaning more towards like what they've currently got with Latrice Royale, what they did at Regent's Park. Like I love like a femme human version of the plant played like gorgeously, like extravagant. I want that. But even if it is just Sam Buttery's voice, that voice, gorgeous, I would take it anyway. Casting Sam Buttery in this, fantastic. You already have me on board. And then the next name in this casting announcement, Georgina Honorer as Audrey. I'm sorry, what? Excuse me? Was in Oklahoma, smashed it. Was in Wizard of Oz, smashed it. Was in Kiss Me Kate, and even though I didn't really like her role, guess what? She smashed it, and I loved her. Oh my god, she is so good. She's going to make a fantastic Audrey. These two being cast in the show, I am already sold. I don't even need to go through any of the other names, but I will because I have to, and that's my job right now. So, as well as those two fantastic performers, we also have some other fantastic performers, including Colin Ryan, who will be playing the lead role of Seymour. We have Wilf Scolding as Orin, Michael Mattis as Mr. Mushnick, Lizzie Rose Eason Kelly as Ronette, Paige Fenlon as Chiffon, and Charlotte Giaconelli as Crystal. A little Wizard of Oz reunion there, because Charlotte Giaconelli was also in that show. As well as that, we also have an ensemble who will be in the description down below as always, but oh my god. Fantastic casting, a great story right out of the gate. I'm obsessed, and if I was not already obsessed with the amazing trans casting this week, we look over to the West End where they announced the cast for The Tempest. This is the first in a Shakespeare season that's heading to the Theatre Royal Drury Lane later this year. Both being directed by Jamie Lloyd, who you may remember from Sunset Boulevard, you may remember earlier from his version of Betrayal at the Harold Pinter. You probably more know him from Sunset Boulevard though, and obviously his Romeo and Juliet that happened earlier this year. Of course, it was previously announced that Sigourney Weaver will be leading this show, and alongside her will be Jude Akawudike as Alonso, Jason Barnett as Stefano, Selena Cadell as Gonzalo, Matthew Horn as Trincalo. I'm not pronouncing any of these names right, and yeah, is it clear I haven't seen a version of The Tempest yet? Mara Huff as Miranda, I know how to say that, Forbes Mason as Caliban, and Mason Alexander Park. Transcasting, non-binary icon, as Ariel, James Foon as Ferdinand, Oliver Ryan as Sebastian, and Tim Steed as Antonio. So now I've got to find a way to get a ticket to go and see this show. Thankfully, it's at one of the biggest West End theatres ever, so it should be fairly decent for me to find a seat. Hopefully, fingers crossed, and you should probably too, when this heads to Theatre Royal Drury Lane later this year. The marquee has already gone up. I've got some pictures of it for an upcoming video. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know what that video might be. I might be doing something about the outside of West End theatres, but it looks very good, and I'm very excited for it. Next up, Stranger Things. So we've had our 5 leads for the cast change announced, and now we have the full cast. So alongside the previously announced principals, joining the cast will be Jack Cromlin as Lonnie Byers, Rihanna Doris as Sue, Jack Gardner as Walter, Andy Langtree as Victor Creel, Betsy Mayle as Claudia, Michael Murray as Alan Munson, Lauren O'Neill as Virginia Creel. That rhymes. Lauren O'Neill, Virginia Creel. Barney Wilkinson as Ted Wheeler. That's really cool. I remember the alternate for Clyde and Bonnie and Clyde. Really cool. Nice to see him doing a play. Interesting. And Edie Wright as Karen. We also have an ensemble who will be where? In the description down below. Very exciting to see this cast come out as always. Next up, the Creakers. We have so much casting news. I'm just garbossing through it, as I always do. We have the cast announced for the Creakers. This is an adaptation of Tom Fletcher's book. This is going on like a mini tour. It's like 2 venues. Like when I say it's a mini tour, it's a very mini tour. It's going to Plymouth, then it's going to London. And joining these 2 venues for this mini tour, we have Rakesh Bowery, Alicia Capon, Matthew Caputo, Eloise Davies, Liam Dean, Iona Fraser, Kim Healy, David Michael Johnson, Ali Kennard, Ed Larkin, Anu Agonmithon, Verity Power, Edwin Ray, and Timo Tatsper. This production will be going to Plymouth during the October half term, running from the 25th of October to the 2nd of November, and then we'll have a slight break and we'll be going to London for Christmas, specifically going to the Southbank Centre's Queen Elizabeth Hall, right by the National Theatre. This will happen from the 18th of December to the 5th of January. So, if you want to catch this new musical, you can catch it then. Continuing on, a UK tour has announced its casting, which UK tour multiple. First up of these UK tours is Mary Poppins. So, we obviously already know our Mary Poppins and Bert, but today the rest of the cast has come out. So let's just jump into it. Michael D. Xavier will be playing George Banks. Lucy May Sumner will be playing Winifred Banks. Rosemary Ash will be playing Mrs. Brill. Patty Bewley will be playing the Birdwoman. Wendy Ferguson will be playing Miss Andrew. Sonia Swaby will be playing Mrs. Corrie, and also Mrs. Smythe. Rory MacDonald will be playing Robertson A, and David Burrows will be playing Admiral Boom. We also have an ensemble and child casting, which will be where? The description down below. This is really cool. Very excited to see Mary Poppins again. I saw it just before it closed in London, and oh my god, I think it is one of my favourite like Disney theatrical musicals. I think it's the one that works the best on stage. It's always such a treat. Can't wait to see how they do it on tour. And the second of the UK tours talking about this week in a bunch, because there's more, and I spoke about some before. I don't know why I didn't group them better, but hey, I just do how I write it on these things. Lion Witch on the Wardrobe. Yes, another musical coming back, this time in the form of a UK tour. I think this is their second UK tour, if I'm remembering correctly. I still haven't seen it. It's done like 3 runs at the Gillian Lynn. Is that the Bridge? Like, I keep missing it, so I probably shouldn't miss it this time. But leading the show as the White Witch, well, leading the show in a villainous way, I guess it's the family that lead it, shush, will be Katie Stevens. And the family will be played by Joanna Adaran as Susan, Jesse Dunbar as Peter, Kudzai Mangobi as Lucy. Then joining as the lion, the titular lion, will be Stanton Wright, playing Aslan. We also have a full ensemble who will be in the description down below. It's time for everyone's favourite time. Ellie lists every single tour date that this show is going on. Oh boy, I'm a little bit sick at the moment. I'm always sick. I don't know. Just since everything that happened in 2020, I'm just constantly sick. But I will try my best, even if I need to cough by the end of it. So, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe will open at Leeds Playhouse from the 18th of November 2024 to the 25th of January 2025, going through the festive season. And then we'll go to Leicester, Cardiff, Liverpool, Newcastle, Brighton, Woking, Torquay, Wickham, Cliffs Pavilion, Southend, the Grand Opera House in York, Belfast, Dublin, Edinburgh, the Alexandra in Birmingham, Regent's Theatre in Stoke-on-Trent. Stoke-on-Trent. It's the historic town by the River Trent. Kingsley to Glasgow. Aberdeen. It's going to Inverness. It's going to Norwich. It's going to Marlow in Canterbury. The Marlow Theatre in Canterbury. It's going to Milton Keynes. It's going to Blackpool. It's going to Llandudno. It's going to Eastbourne, then Bristol, then Bradford, then Hull, then Aylesbury, then Wolverhampton, then Nottingham and Sunderland, and Southampton and Plymouth and Lowry in Salford, before having a Sadler's Wells season in London from the 20th of August to the 7th of September 2025. I need to cough now. Give me a second. Oh, I shouldn't have done that while I'm trying to recover from being sick. Oh, that destroyed me. But if you want to go and see Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, you can go and see it at any of those tour stops. Next up, A Christmas Carol. This is the returning show to the Old Vic. It's their Christmas show every single year and has been for the past, I want to say, 7 or 8 years. We know that this year's Scrooge is none other than John Sim, continuing on from last year's Christopher Eccleston in Doctor Who actors who have now played Ebenezer Scrooge at the Old Vic. But joining John Sim will be Rob Compton, Juliet Crosby, Geraint Downing, Kimmy Edwards, Jenny Fitzpatrick, Mark Goldthrop, Ahmed Hamad, Julie Jupp, Baker Mukasa, Alistair Parker, Georgina Sadler, Lily Pearl Wildman, and Connor Wood. This is opening at the Old Vic for previews from the 9th of November, an official opening night on the 20th of November, and runs until the 4th of January 2025. And to end out casting news for this week, really easy one, Only Fools and Horses. We have an additional cast member in Hollywood star Vinnie Jones. Vinnie Jones, who is known for playing a lot of gangster roles, is coming into Only Fools and Horses to play the gangster Danny Driscoll. Talk about typecast. But this is extremely exciting for the Only Fools and Horses tour. You can catch it going across the UK and for its Christmas season this year at the Eventum Apollo. But that's it for casting news. We can now move on to concerts, where guess what? I've got to talk about more casting news. First up, Figaro. Figaro is a musical going for a concert. This is happening at the London Palladium on the 3rd and the 4th of February 2025. This musical will see Amy Atkinson play the role of Lucia, Kaylee Capaldi making her West End debut in the role of Sienna, and for child casting we have Sophia Goodman, who you have seen recently in Matilda and Les Mis. She will be playing the role of Amelia. We also have Maggie Solamine, who will make her West End debut as part of the ensemble. More casting to be revealed soon, but if you want to catch Figaro, you can catch it at the London Palladium 3rd and 4th February 2025. Next up, Mozart. This is a new musical, Mozart, Her Story, the new musical, its official title. This is based on the life of Mozart's sister, and will have 2 performances at the Theatre Royal Drury Lane. These happening on Saturday the 16th and Sunday the 17th of November. This has an extremely exciting cast, including Gabrielle Brooks, who was in Get Up Stand Up, an incredible performer. She will be playing Nan Mozart. Tyrone Huntley, who's fresh off being in Hello Dolly, the hit of the summer, will play Mozart. The Mozart we are more familiar with, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And Anthony Rapp, who you may remember from the original cast of Rent, will be playing Count Franz von Wolfsegg. We also have Laura Pitt-Pulford, an incredible actress recently in Standing at the Sky's Edge, will be Anna Maria Mozart, while Vinnie Coyle will play Johann Baptist von Sonnenberg, and Yvette Gonzalez Nesa will be taking on the role of Constance Weber. And finally, we have Emily Squibb, who in the concert will be playing the role of Caroline von Wolfsegg and will cover the role of Nan. So very exciting. If you want to catch this new musical, you can catch it in concert Saturday the 16th and Sunday the 17th of November. And finally, we have some further casting for A Little Piece of You. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, this was announced to be going to the Theatre Royal Drury Lane. This is for 2 performances happening on the 31st of October and the 1st of November. And we have the initial casting. Obviously, it was previously announced that the 17-year-old writer of the piece, Kirsty Long, will be starring in it, but alongside her will be Misha Paris, who is playing the role of Shannon, David Badella, who is playing the role of Ethan, and Jojonna Gift, who is playing the role of Britt. Some fantastic performers there, obviously. Very exciting casting. I can't wait to see some further casting come out, and hopefully go and see this in concert. We have reached the end of concert news. Now let's move on to miscellaneous. First up, Starlight Express. It was announced last week we're getting a Starlight album. Guess what? This week, we found out more details. When is it coming out? The 8th of November. So we've got just over a month to wait to get the full cast album, but if you want a little taste of it now, they have released 2 tracks, specifically Hydrogen, which has been stuck in my head ever since I saw it. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when for Hydrogen, and also they have released the song Crazy. Both of these can be streamed right now. But not right now. Go and do it after you watch this whole video. How dare you? And that's it for miscellaneous news. Let's move on to transfers, new productions, and little other things. Now, this first one, I never know whether to put a gala into concerts and one-off performance news or new productions. I'm starting to think I might start to combine the concert category into being like a one-night-only type thing, like for the one-nighters. Anyway, No Coward is getting a gala. Yes, there will be a charity gala performance of A Marvelous Party, which is celebrating 125 years of No Coward. This is ironically happening at the Prince of Wales Theatre and not at the No Coward Theatre. I mean, it was right there. Both of them are Cameron Mackintosh theatres. Could you not put it at No Coward? I feel like that would have been very fitting. But anyway, I digress. This will be happening on Sunday, the 17th of November, 2024. And this will be directed by Daniel Evans and will feature excerpts and previously unseen material from a bunch of No Coward's plays, sketches, and songs. This also features a very star-studded cast, including Hugh Bonneville, Giles Brandthread, Judi Dench, Lindsay Duncan, Cush Jumbo, Robert Lindsay, Damian Lewis, Hilton McRae, Giles Tierra, and more star-studded names to be revealed soon. So if you want to catch any of these performers celebrating a bit of No Coward, you can go and get your tickets now. Moving straight along, we have a news story that I meant to cover last week and I accidentally skipped it, but it's pretty big news and something that's come from an interview and not actually come from an official announcement like these other stories have. This is about Shucked. So, ages ago, it feels like it's been years since it was announced that Shucked would be coming to the West End. It seems like through the announcement, some of these plans have been affected. It initially said it would be coming a lot earlier than it would be. Then in a press release when the show closed on Broadway, they announced that it had been pushed back to winter 2025. But it seems like there is still life in Shucked yet. However, it's not going to be going to the West End. It's actually going to be going to Regent's Park. In an interview with the director of Shucked, he announced that it would be part of the summer season next year at Regent's Park. And honestly, I think that's a great decision. Allowing this show to have a stint at Regent's Park is really good to help build up the hype, help build up the audience for it, and hopefully, if it does well and it performs successfully, it can then move into a West End house. And again, Shucked is a show that even in its Broadway version could be very easily adapted to work in an outside venue. Regent's Park is a great theatre for short runs, for great shows, and this is also going to be part of the first season for Drew Maconey, which honestly puts him off at a really interesting start, seeing that he's got a Broadway transfer in his first season, and we don't even know what the other 2 shows are going to be. This is really exciting. I can't wait to hear some further news about this coming up very soon. Sorry, I'm interrupting this news story because I've just had a really interesting text. Apparently, I have an overdue penalty charge at a PCN, and I have a fine for doing so. This would be really devastating if I, actually knew how to drive and own a car. So for some reason, I think this might be a scam. I don't know about that. Anyway, carrying on. Next up, we have Hamlet, Hail to the Thief. This is a new version of Hamlet, which, if you can't guess from the title, is mixing Shakespeare's Hamlet with Radiohead's 2003 album, Hail to the Thief. I keep going to call it Hail to the Chief, but that's not the title. This is set to be a blend of theatre, music, and movement, and is basically a deconstructed version of the Radiohead album, and will be performed alongside 20 musicians and actors, including all of the hits from that album, including They're There, 2 + 2 = 5 and go to sleep. This is going to be happening first at the Factory International in Manchester from the 27th of April to the 18th of May 2025, and then will transfer to the Royal Shakespeare Theatre in Stratford-upon-Avon. This will run there from the 4th to the 28th of June 2025. So if you want to catch this really exciting and interesting new version of Shakespeare, you can catch it then. Next up, Moulin Rouge. It feels like a weekly task that we're speaking about a new Moulin Rouge tour date. They're really teasing us. They're really giving it one at a time. So last week, it was announced that it was going to the Manchester Palace, as well as its stunts in Edinburgh and Bristol, and now it's also going to Brum. It's going to Birmingham, specifically the Birmingham Hippodrome, from the 15th of October to the 15th of November, continuing its fairly large stints in these touring venues. Most UK touring shows will do a week in a theatre and then move on, but we see a lot of bigger shows like Wicked or Hamilton, things that are a little bit harder to tour, doing a bit more of a sit-down run. Moulin Rouge, after it tours the UK, will be going on a world tour with this specific tour, and I'm sure we'll be coming back in like a week or two to talk about even more of its tour stops. Next up, we have a new adaptation of Sherlock Holmes, directed by Rob Ashford and choreography by Akram Khan. This is going to premiere in Manchester in autumn 2025 and also is eyeing a West End and a Broadway transfer. And right now, that is all we know. It will be revealed with some further details early next year, but we will have to wait for some further details for this new version of Sherlock Holmes. Next up, we are getting another drag panto in the West End this year. Tuckshop is returning for its 4th West End season. This year's pantomime will be Peter Pan, and as always, it's starring a plethora of drag talent. A lot of them you may remember from Drag Race. The current reigning Drag Race UK winner, Ginger Johnson, will be playing Hook, alongside the current Drag Race competitor on Global All-Stars, Kitty Stock-Claus. Cheryl Hole and Kate Butch are also going to be in the show, and the three of them complete the Darling Children. Alongside Bailey J. Mills as Tinkerbell, Waishi Black as Smee, Ophelia Love as Villager Number 4, Mahatma Candy as the Mermaid, and the amazing Richard Energy as Peter. This is being written by Gareth Joyner, who is a drag queen themselves, more commonly known as Mara Dubois, and this will be running at the Phoenix Theatre from the 2nd of December to the 6th of January, with various dates within that time span. Sharing the house with the current tenant, Stranger Things: The First Shadow. I had a blast with this pantomime last year. It was so chaotic. It's wonderful. A perfect little explosion of drag. So if you want to catch this year's one, you can head over to the Phoenix. But not right now, while we're just going to catch Stranger Things. Look at the specific dates, because the specific dates, if you want to catch this one, you have to be specific with it. Anyway, moving on, we have quite a big one to talk about now. This is the Nationals 2025 season. Now, like I did with the Armida last video, I'm going to speedrun this a bit. So, let's go. Let's do this, and let's hope that I don't go into a coughing fit afterwards, because I'm still a bit sick. First off, alterations. This is going to the Littleton Theatre from the 20th of February to the 5th of April. This includes new material by Trish Cook and is being directed by Lynette Linton. Leading on from that, Juliet Stevenson will star in The Land of the Living. This is being directed by Stephen Daldry and is running in the Dorfman from September 2025. After that, David Eldridge will complete his trilogy of plays, following the beginning, the middle, and you can even guess it, ending with The End, directed by Rachel O'Riordan. This will play in the Dorfman Theatre in winter 2025. As well as this, the team behind Prima Facie will reunite for a new play, Inter Alia, which stars Rosamund Pike, who you may remember from Saltburn, who will make her National Theatre debut. Dates for this are to be confirmed. We also have a couple of returning shows. It was announced previously that Dear England will return to the National, but as well as this, we are seeing a return for London Road, the story of a shaken community in Ipswich on London Road, which is a verbatim musical. All of the music that is composed for the show is done in time to interviews taken by the actual residents on London Road. This is returning to the National from the 5th to the 21st of June and will also be captured for National Theatre at Home. And as well as that, we are also seeing a return for Nye, starring Michael Sheen once again. This is happening from the 3rd to the 16th of July, and then it returns to Cardiff's Millennium Centre once again. So if you want to catch any of those shows, you can head to the National next year. Whew, okay, next up, in the Sunday Times this week, Andrew Llloyd Webber revealed some information about various projects and shows. Now, I'm not much of a newspaper reader, as you can probably guess, but thankfully this news story has also been reported by What's on Stage, so thank you so much for What's on Stage for reporting this as well. In this article, which I'm sure you can find online if you look up the Sunday Times, there's a little bit of discussion that he had about the Starlight Express album. He talked about discussing arts in education, and spoke in support of brand new musicals, and getting new work and new writers in. As well as this though, he gave some more information about his upcoming new musical. This is aiming to be released in 2026 and is based on a film. Now, he's been quite scarce on the details, but we do know that this is going to be set in Vienna in 1900. And this is being co-created with Chris Terrio, who co-wrote the Oscar-winning film Argo. As well as he also gave a couple of details on two of his other musicals. He actually revealed that an immersive production of Phantom is due to play off-Broadway next year, and that he is quite interested in bringing Cats the Jellicle Ball from New York to London. Now that's really interesting for the fact that Cats the Jellicle Ball is very American. It's the musical Cats, but it's mixed very heavy with the ballroom scene, a scene that isn't as popular over here in the UK or isn't as well known. So I don't know how well the Jellicle Ball would do over here, but it looks like a very intriguing production, especially as a queer person. I would love to be able to see this production, and I doubt I would ever be able to see it if it goes to New York again, but if it comes to London, I can see it. So I'd happily take that, thank you. But that is it for your news this week. God, this was hard to film. Unseen in the final edit will be the amount of times I had to stop and cough. But what are you most excited for? Let me know all your thoughts about this week's news in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. It really helps me, it helps out the channel. Here's some links to some other videos on screen right now, and a link to my Instagram if you'd like to drop me a follow over there. I also have other social links and a merch store in the description down below. But that's it for me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.